I think the most difficult part of any business is employees. I think that it's the most frustrating thing. And I think what it is I think you would like to have people, I think people are resistant to do what's necessary to complete the task. And especially if you have a small company. Maybe in a big company, things are more focused on what your position is. But in our company, I basically want a whatever it takes attitude. And things are volatile in this day and age of business.
I mean, what Greg said is exactly right. Attitude is probably the most important thing on trying to get an employee or hiring a new employee. If you have a guy that has a ton of potential but has a bad attitude about the job, or what his duties are, or they're, like what Greg said about changing the job, a bad attitude is going to get the guy or cause you a problem, either trying to change his job or have him advance his job in the company. But I take a guy with a great attitude and maybe a lower potential if you're looking at two people maybe from an intelligence standpoint.
They come in, they're smart, they have MBAs, they get 60% of the job done, and they're done. And their attitude is, well, the rest of it just has to take care of itself. And that's their self-perception of being efficient. Okay, I did what I need to do, I'm done. The work will just have to self-complete somehow.
There is a huge problem at the university level, and we run into this when we're looking for project managers, whether it be a small-scale network implementation or a larger-scale security web, and this attitude about, you're interviewing me, but it's not what you're going to do for me, it's what I'm going to do for you. If I'm going to work for you, this is what I want. It's not, me saying, well, if you're going to work for me, this is what you're going to do. And it's a very frustrating because as soon as they sit down, it's almost like you can see it radiating from some of these people that it's, okay, you're interviewing me, but this is my time, and my time's more valuable than your time, and so on. And it's very, very frustrating at that level to see that, and then bringing them on and trying to integrate someone from the university level into your existing group of employees. And they will immediately assume that they're smarter, they can do things better, they can do things faster. And that point of, I'm done. My project is over. I've done what you told me to do. I'm not doing any more than that.
I mean, the attitude is huge. I mean, if they come in and they have a bad attitude, that can sour the whole group, obviously. I mean, we just went through something in our company, and the guy does a great job. I'd say he's 80% there, but that 20%, he just had, a chip on his shoulder, had an attitude, and he just couldn't complete the job because of his attitude. He could physically, mentally he could do the job. He just chose not to. So I think their attitude's a lot.
Well, that bad apple spoils the whole
it does. It really
attitude.
does.
It permeates the whole
really
company.
It definitely does.
And ruins the environment.
Yeah, you get I don't know if it's a competition thing with people, but you get one guy is looking at a guy that's historically good for you, and he's looking at that bad apple, saying, well, this guy's slacking off all the time.
Especially if they're in a management position and they're over someone. Right. And geez, everybody underneath them, you might as well just forget.
I've tried to find a salesman to just knock on doors and sell. And I don't care if you call it a vacuum cleaner or whatever.
Cold calling.
I'm selling service on garage doors. So any gas station on the highway. I've gone through 6. I found one. Is it pot luck? Or is there an art to finding that person?
Yeah, and I look for people who have systematically taken on more responsibility.
You get a fellow I don't have a college education, I'm not a salesperson, but he's got a great personality. You can do a lot with personality. You can train techniques and things like that. Now, you get a great installer, but he has a rotten personality, that guy's a problem. And he's going to continue to be one because nothing will be right. And we're a one installer type operation. We send a man out in the morning. He is the job. He goes to the job, that's what he does. He has the contact with the customer. So if you've got somebody that's got a chip on their shoulder, a bad attitude, you've got a real problem.
Some of the things that I look for when I'm hiring somebody is reliable. Are they going to show up? That's a big thing. I'm dealing with a lot of different accounts, and the number one problem that they mentioned to me is hiring people. And one is, just to show up for the business. And another one in my business would be integrity. Above anything else, integrity. Some of the business I'm involved in, we're dealing with a lot of cash business. And, I mean, I can't be on top of all that, but I have people that, without question, it doesn't even enter my mind, the integrity to handle that, handle that money. And I think integrity is, you can train somebody to do a lot of things, but if they don't have integrity.
Persistence is an issue too, I think, that, especially in terms of in the technology business and such, and supporting different software, different platforms. I have really 4 of my top techs that will stay and work on something until there can't be anything done anymore. And that's a big thing, that I look for, the commitment and the persistence. I people that come in for interviews and sit in front of me and they've got all the buzzwords, and of course the computer industry is the world champion in creating new acronyms and buzzwords and this, and they say, well, I can think out of the box. And I get so frustrated. I said, first, this whole box thing, show me where the box is. And actually tell me what it means. When you tell me you're an out-of-the-box thinker, tell me what that means. I get 12 to 15 different resumes a week from all different skill sets, companies, same downsize for 20 years, looking for something new. And last year I was able to find maybe 2 to 3 people that we seriously considered looking at, one of which we hired and has worked out great. But I think all the time the bar is getting set lower and lower, and I'm sick of looking at the bar that's set so low that I don't even want to hire anybody anymore and take on all the work myself.
I'm looking for someone that I can bring on for a long time, and when some of these guys start to retire, I need someone that can pick up the ball and keep rolling.
I talked to one last night for an hour. He said, it's not my place to stand up and stop that guy from stealing. I'm not his boss. I work beside him. They don't have that big picture.
Can you see the frustration? Can you see the opportunity? How would you like to be the first hired and the last fired? How would you like to be so valued that your employer couldn't do without you? How'd you like to enjoy and appreciate your job so much that you look forward to going there? That is what we are going to do. In the next 8 weeks, we are going to transform you into an employee that your employer couldn't do without. If you could make yourself into this type of an employee, what would it do for you? How could this give you what you want? And by the way, what do you want? What I would like you to do now is to decide exactly what you do want. I'd like you to go inside yourself and let go and allow yourself to dream a little bit and let your innermost desires come out, and I'd like you to get them on paper. What it is most important to you and what it is that you really want from life. And then I'm going to show you that whatever you have on this paper is going to be quite obtainable.